Hello everyone, in today's lessons we're going to classify polynomials and perform basic operations on polynomials. So we're going to add, subtract, multiply and divide. So let's start with actually classifying them. This is kind of like refresher from Algebra 1. Polynomials are just terms added or subtracted together, and polynomials can be classified by degree and number of terms. So if we have degree 1, which corresponds to exponent 1, we're going to have a constant polynomial. Constant. If the polynomial has degree 1, which the highest exponent is 1, we're going to have a linear polynomial. If the polynomial has the highest exponent of 2, we have a quadratic polynomial. Okay, it's not easy to write with the stylus, so do the best on your own paper. If the degree is 3, or the highest exponent is 3, we have a cubic polynomial. And if the degree is 4, we're going to call it quartic. And if the degree is 5, the polynomial is called quintic. And of course we can look how many terms does each polynomial have. And if the polynomial has only one term, we call this polynomial monomial. If it has two terms, we call it binomial. It's good to get used to those terms because we're going to use them a lot in class. If it has 3 terms, it's called trinomial. And if it has 4 or more, we're just going to call it polynomial. Alright, let's look at some examples. And we're going to classify the following polynomials by degree and number of terms. Don't mind the numbering, it was just a snippet. So if it's negative 3x plus 1, this polynomial has degree 1 because the highest exponent is, you have a variable to the first power. So we have a linear polynomial. And if you can kind of like see and underline, we have 2 terms separated by a plus. So this polynomial is called binomial. The next example, the highest exponent is 5. So we're going to call this, by classifying by the degree, is going to be a quintic polynomial. And we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So this polynomial is a trinomial. (15). It's just 24. There's no variable, which means I can add a variable to the first 0 power because anything to 0 is just 1, which means I have a constant function or constant polynomial, and it's only one term, so it's monomial. Okay, monomial. Alright, try 16, 17, and 18. Pause the video. So here we have 4 terms. So we have a just polynomial, and the highest exponent is 3, which means we have a cubic polynomial. Alright, the next one. Count the terms. 3, trinomial. Highest degree is 2, so we have a quadratic trinomial. Okay, next example, highest degree is 4, so we have a quartic, and there's only one term, even though we have negative 3/2 and x to the 4th, but this counts as just one term, so it's a monomial. Okay, I pick a different color, doesn't matter. Alright, 19. Give an example of a cubic binomial, which means two terms with degree 3, so it could be x cubed plus 2 or 2x, any combination. Linear monomial, 2x, x must be to the power of. We add and subtract polynomials by adding and subtracting like terms. So we just combine like terms. So, and polynomial in standard form is written from the highest exponent to the lowest exponent. So the term with the highest exponent goes first, and the term with the lowest exponent is the last. If we add two polynomials, we just simply combine like terms. So we simply have 3x squared plus 11x plus 4, actually minus, so we don't need parentheses, minus 5x plus x squared minus 13. And we're going to start combining like terms with the highest exponent. So x squared is the highest power, so we're going to combine 3x squared with x squared, and we're going to write it first. So we start writing in standard form. So we have 4x squared, then we're going to combine x's, so 11x minus 5x will give me positive 6x, and 4 minus 13 is going to give me negative 9. And this is my answer. Try example number 2 on your own, pause the video. So here we have 9n cubed minus 4n squared plus 2n minus 10 minus 2n squared plus n plus 7. Start combining with the highest. The only term with exponent 3 is just 9 and 3. We have no other term to combine it with. Next we move to n squared. So we have negative 4 minus 2 gives me negative 6n squared. Then we have n, so 2n plus n is 3n, and negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. Done. When we subtract, we have to be extra careful, because the second parenthesis has a coefficient of negative 1 in front of it, which means we have to distribute negative 1 through the second polynomial. So we have 5k cubed minus 2k squared plus 2k, and then here we have a negative 1 that must be distributed through the second parenthesis. So we get negative 2k squared minus 2k minus 17. Combine like terms. Negative 2k squared minus 2k squared will give me negative 4k squared, not 0. 2k minus 2k, that's 0, so we don't write it. And then we have negative 17, and this is the answer. Alright, try example 4, pause the video. So here we go. Alright, let's combine. Here in example 5, we want to subtract negative 10ab plus 7a squared minus b squared from 8b squared plus ab minus 2a squared. So we have to write whatever we're subtracting from first. ab plus 7a squared minus b squared. Let me erase this other thing so we're not confusing it. Remember, you have to distribute negative 1 through the second parentheses. So let's rewrite it again. Hopefully my page is not going to change. So we get positive 10ab, negative 7a squared, and positive b squared. And we're going to combine terms that have the same combination of variables. So here we're looking for b squared first. So we have 8b squared plus b squared, which gives me 9b squared. Then we're going to combine a squared. So negative 2a squared minus 7a squared will give me negative 9a squared. And ab plus 10ab gives me 11ab. And this is finished. So that's how we add and subtract polynomials. Combine like terms. Be extra careful when you subtract. Alright, let's move on to multiplying. Multiplying, we're going to distribute, or sometimes we call it FOIL, and then we're going to combine like terms and write it in standard form. Again, standard form is from the highest exponent to the lowest exponent. So in example number 6, we have a binomial multiplied by a trinomial. So we're going to distribute. And distributing means we multiply each term by every term. So start with the first term in the first polynomial, so w, and w must be multiplied by all the terms in the second polynomial. So w times w squared, remember we add exponents. W times 2w will give me w squared. 2w squared, w times 1 is just w. Then we're going to move on to negative 7 and multiply negative 7 by all the terms in the second polynomial. So we get negative 7w squared, hopefully I will squeeze in, minus 14w minus 7. Now we're going to combine like terms. W cubed is just 1. Then we're going to combine w squared, which will give me negative 5w squared. And I'm going to add w, so negative 13w minus 7. That's my answer. Alright, in example number 7, we multiply the first two polynomials, and then we have to distribute negative 2x through the last one. At the end, we combine like terms. So let's multiply. So 2x times 4 is 8x. 2x times negative 9 is negative 18x squared. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times negative 9 is negative 9x. I ran out of space, but you continue on in the same line. Distribute negative 2x. Negative 2x times 3x is going to be, or maybe I can do that, negative 6x squared. And negative 2x times 11 is going to give me negative 22x. Let's combine like terms. The highest exponent is 2, so negative 18 minus 6 will give me negative 24x squared. Combine x's. 8x minus 9x is negative 1x minus 22x is negative 23x plus 4. And done. Now we're going to divide polynomials by a monomial only. Later on we're going to learn how to divide polynomials by binomials and so on. It's going to be a different process. So dividing polynomials by binomial, we're going to first divide coefficients, and we're going to subtract exponents. Just recall exponent rule. So here in number 13, we're going to divide each term in the numerator by the monomial in the denominator. I'm going to write in standard form. I'm going to write all terms with negative exponents. So sometimes when we get a fraction, we're going to rewrite it with negative exponents to create a polynomial. So first we're going to look at the first term in the numerator, and we're going to divide it by the term in the denominator. So 9m to the power of 3 divided by 3m is going to give me 3m squared. Remember, this m right here has exponent 1, so we're subtracting exponents. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Then we're going to look at the second term in the numerator and divide by the denominator. So negative 24 divided by 3 gives me negative 8, and m squared divided by m is just m. And this is my answer. So now in 14, try on your own, divide each term in numerator by the denominator and write the answer. Then unpause the video to check your answer. So the answer is 5x squared minus x minus 2.